Triple Threat and Negative coming up next on the blog rundown. And we're going to kick off the show, John, with a movie review that came in from DM Anderson. The film is Triple Threat from 2019. We spoke about this film a few months ago from one of our writers, Steve.
Steve Wilkins.
Yep. And the film is directed by Jesse V. Johnson.
Yeah, Stephen, I actually seen this one very recently indeed. It's actually just come out over here on Blu-ray release the 14th of May in actual fact. After reading the review from Steve I think it was about a month or so ago, a month and a half ago, it did intrigue me. So I can actually come at this with a degree of authority. I haven't seen it fairly recently. I have to say I agree with 90% of what Dave's actually said in the review. It's just an amalgamation of superstars, really, martial artists, sort of a superstars from the East, facing off against the Western figures of obviously Scott Adkins, I think the name is, and obviously Michael J. White. In terms of story, I agree as well with Dave. It's not a great sort of a story, but I never expected that coming in. I think Steve touched upon that in his review briefly as well. You know what you're getting with these movies, Stephen. It's a out-and-out action flick with a thread, a very dangling little thin thread, almost spider's web-esque thread of plot to keep the story moving throughout. I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson. I've said it time and again. Most of his action, big action flicks are like that. A mundane plot, but a lot of action sequences and sort of a great visual effects to keep you going. This movie, not so much in the visual effects, although there's one great moment which Dave touches upon with a grenade launcher. And I have to say, if you've not seen it, you must watch it for that alone, because if you, and he's right, have ever wondered what a grenade launcher would do if it hit a human being, this movie shows you perfectly how it would turn out, and it's not good. It's very gory, very gruesome. I don't know why you'd be thinking about that incidentally. That's a very warped mind, but if you have ever thought about what a grenade launcher looks like when it meets with a human body, this movie has got you. But Stephen, so many incredible battle sequences or fighting sequences in here. We have got the expertise of the trio Iko Uwais, Tony Jaa, and obviously Tiger Hun Chen. Three very noteworthy martial artists from the likes of, I think, Indonesia, Thailand and China. Incredible guys. Have been involved in big sort of a cinematography galore, slick hit fighting things, the likes of The Raid, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I think one was involved in The Matrix as well with the stunts and stuff like that. So these guys know how to put together a fantastic fighting sequence, and we get it in galore in this movie. They face off against the likes of Michael J. White, as I did say, big towering figure. And one of my favourite parts of the movie was the difference in sort of a fighting style. Michael J. White's this big towering brute figure, and he's quite brutal in his fighting style. He's just punching its big kicks, whereas these three guys are slick, quick movers. They almost remind me of Bruce Lee in the way that he approached fighting. But the dialogue is god awful though, absolutely god awful.
I totally
That's what
agree,
I would say.
In fact, I'd go as far as saying you don't expect to really delve into these characters' background at all. It's a purely action.
Well, I mean, there's a superficial element. One of the characters loses his wife.
The chemistry between I think it's Adkins, Bisping and White is there to be seen. There is great chemistry between the characters, the actors I should say. The fighting scenes were extraordinary. They were really well executed.
They really were.
I've liked that combination of martial arts and action adventure films since probably I first saw Brandon Lee's Rapid Fire or Showdown in Little Tokyo. That kind of element of blending action, like Western traditional action films with Eastern martial arts works fine. In this, I wasn't really expecting too much, John, if I'm being honest, with in regards to a fleshed out storyline or anything like that. I think there's a cringeworthy moment that Dave actually does mention regarding high heels, which we'll talk about in a little moment, John. But nevertheless, I felt the combination of the styles in the fighting as well was well executed.
It was,
as well.
It was very much East versus West.
Michael J. White was an absolute monster in this film as well. Just absolutely solid, and his execution style as well.
Just beaten down.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Facing off against a much smaller sort of a... I can't recall who it was that was fighting against him time and again. I want to go out on a limb and say that it was Iko Uwais. I can't say his name. I'm pretty sure it was him that was facing off. And a lot of the times when he was taking on the character of, I think it's Devaru, I can't say the name. He was having to get bailed out with assistance from other guys. You've seen one great fight sequence, I think it was between Scott Adkins and one of the other guys. It may have been Tony Jaa, Payu and Collins. Collins, incidentally, was the leader of this sort of a organisation that broke free from at the start of the movie. A great sort of a quick hitting sequence. He was fighting, I think, Tony Jaa's character, Payu. He knocks him out with a concrete block, and then he goes off. And he bails out his partner in crime when he's facing off against Michael J. White. So he needed help, and I liked that little
that
sort
scene
of a plot
with
detail.
the scene with the block or the brick or whatever. It needed a punchline. And
You said that, Steve,
and
if that was Arnie, it'd be like,
something.
now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place or something like that.
Take that, blockhead or something like that. Something
dead
corny.
obvious,
But the other thing that I picked up from Dave's review, and I've got to agree with this, you have to be invested in this genre to really get something out of it, John. If you're not, you're really just going to be seeing some exposition, a fight, exposition, a fight, exposition, and a fight.
I don't care about that. Yeah,
you have to, as you said, you have to be into it, John, to really enjoy it and embrace it.
I love martial arts movies, Stephen. I've been a big fan of it for a number of years. You got me into Bruce Lee. I watched the Ip Man trilogy because of you. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon back in the day was another one that you got me involved in. So it was really yourself actually that was getting me involved in the sort of a martial artist movies. So I'm a big fan of them. I like the mismatch of different styles, the Western versus the Eastern styles. It was very, very cool. The story, also, I think the thread throughout the story was really the Tian character, Selena Jade. She was this philanthropist in charge of this fake sort of a country, and she was trying to stop organised crime in the country. These guys were going after her, and two of the good guys on the Eastern side of things helped him break the Collins character free. Then they ended up facing off against him, and they realised their nefarious intent. So, as you did say, Stephen, not the most amazing, mind-blowing sort of a plot that you'll ever see in your entire life, but there was enough going on superficially. Some great action sequences, gunfights. It was very slick. The cinematography was absolutely outstanding in the main. There was some great moments where, as you did touch upon it when we were watching it, Stephen, you'd have the wide shot of them fighting, then it'd go into a quick cut. A close-up shot when one hits the ground or something, and they utilised big wide spaces. There was some obvious moments where it's like, we'll have this open warehouse where they'll fight, and then they'll go through this clearly mediocre sort of a fake wall into an even bigger cavernous, carnivorous sort of a room. So I mean, I can let them go. If it was any other movie or any other genre, you'd be like, this is crap, it's too obvious that they're setting this up for a big sort of a fight sequence. But because of the nature of the action sort of a martial arts genre, you'll let it go. And I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I thought it was pretty damn good. It was an enjoyable flick. It's not going to win any Oscars. It's not going to probably go over with the critics. I've not actually went on to Rotten Tomatoes. I've got it open. Got 67% rating from the critics, so it's decent, not too bad. It's been rated fresh. The audience is not so kind to it, 35%. But look, I think in the main, the critics are saying the same thing as us, Stephen. Various action sequences in the film are worth the price of admission alone. Even with a lack of A-lister star, Triple Threat finds a way to stand on it. So I think that's a bit harsh on Adkins and Michael J. White. I think they're pretty decent names. They're not A-list, but they're certainly decent names that have been around.
They're familiar names,
Yeah, they've been around the block enough to be fully deserving of leading a movie of this nature. Just for you to go through another couple of ones without boring you, Stephen. Well, the plot may be distracting. The martial arts action is just as stellar and as threatening as you'd hope it would be. Completely agree. The plot, a minor distraction in the main. I just wanted to get into the fighting sequences time and again. Such was the nature of how they were put together. All very slick. And look, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Talk. You won't be talking anymore. I think that was one of the lines.
That was one of the lines. Talk. To a guy who's lying on the ground. It's Collins' character with two knives in his chest. He's not going to be talking anymore. It's almost like
maybe that's why he didn't do the punchlines. He doesn't seem to be very good at them.
It was like Moxie and Auf Wiedersehen. The guy who going after him, kill him, and then bring him back to me, and I'll kill him again.
That's exactly what it was like.
Didn't make much sense to me, but I'm in channeling in Bob Dylan there, Steve.
Listen, it's okay, John.
It didn't make much sense to me.
We're going to move on anyway to our next review that did come from Stephen Wilkins. This is a film from 2017 called Negative. Directors Joshua Caldwell, and it stars Katie Winter, Simon Quarterman, Sebastian Roach. And this film is, I don't really want to read word for word Steve's review, but it's, I think it's Quarterman, it's playing the character Collins.
Stephen, you want to get people on to read the review.
Exactly, I'm not here to narrate. But, he's took a photograph I think he's a casual photographer, I think Steve says here. Doesn't know who this lady is. It's obviously Katie Winter. It's playing Natalie. Turns out that she's some kind of agent or something like that.
Yeah, she's a British sort of a special agent, an ex-intelligence officer.
Yeah, so he's picked the wrong person to take a photo of, and it all kicks off from there.
It does, Stephen, and by all accounts it goes off to Arizona.
Yeah.
I did watch the trailer. I've not had a chance to see the movie as of yet. The trailer looked intriguing enough. It looked fairly gripping. I don't know whether they've maybe used up all of the eggs. I put all their eggs in one basket with the trailer and gave us everything, Stephen.
I would hope not, John. I didn't think the trailer really, it didn't really give us a lot, so if that was them giving us everything, then there's not a lot really there going on, you know.
But I suppose so, I'll give you that. But it looked intriguing enough, Stephen. Steve says that unfortunately the movie severely lacks the one thing you would fully assume would be in front and centre, and that is action. So that's quite concerning. He says that, you'd expect to be rewarded in the final act of the film with bloodshed, and you in fact get that at the final act of the movie. But Stephen, just moving over to Rotten Tomatoes very, very briefly, it's got a 38% audience score, 19 user ratings. Bobby Lepire is the only chap to have, I believe from the critics' side, all critics reviewed it. He says, negative is greater than the sum of its flawed parts. He's rated it fresh. So I think he's certainly on a similar sort of a plane to Steve and his overall interpretation of the movie. Steve has rated it a C. Yeah. He says, look, it's not a movie that's going to essentially win an Oscar by any means, but it's a good excuse to pop open some popcorn and log in another viewing. And look, when you're bored at night and you've not got anything better to do with your time, pop on a movie. Everybody does it. And look, as I did say, if it's on Netflix, it's perhaps one that I will go and look at purely for what Steve says about the movie in general, Stephen. But look, I've not got much more to add. I haven't seen it as of yet. I don't know if you've got anything more to add, Stephen.
The only thing I'm going to do, John, is I'm going to reiterate that line that yourself picked up on that Steve wrote. Unfortunately, the movie severely lacks the one thing you would fully assume would be front and centre action. That's the one line that puts me off wanting to see the film. I'm quite open to watch films. You've seen some of my reviews on the website. I'm very open-minded about independent films.
What was that one, I Am Your Father? No, that was a good one, wasn't it? It was the other one, the Pinewood 77 or something like that. Elstree. Pinewood.
Yeah. So listen, I've watched some really bad films in my time, and I've reviewed them as honestly as I can. And Steve, to be fair, did exactly the same. But is it a film I'm going to go out my road to see on Netflix? I don't think so, John. Based on Steve's review and the trailer itself, the trailer lacked any interest for me personally. I just felt it was very flat. The dialogue as well was pretty lame, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It just didn't float my boat. I'm sorry, but it didn't.
Different strokes for different folks, Stephen, as they do say. Horses for courses, as the great George Martin once says, and it's all subjective, all art is subjective. So one man's trash is another man's treasure. So look, I've not got much more to add.
But listen, that just brings us to the end of this week's blog roundup, and we'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Force Friday show.